Welcome to DeFi Crypto Today. Today we're going into Wonderland. Don't know if you're familiar with the Lewis Carroll story of Alice in Wonderland, but the theme of the DeFi protocol we're going to look at is based on that story. Isn't that amazing? So this is Alice, and she found a rabbit hole, and in the rabbit hole, well, there's a curtain, there's a little door, and she decides to go in, and then she falls down the rabbit hole. And that's what we're going to do today. So, without further ado, we arrive in Wonderland. Now, the logo here, I don't know if you can see it, but it shows Alice falling down the rabbit hole. So this is Wonderland.money. Okay, it's a new project. It started this month in September. It's a fork of the Olympus DAO project that started in April of this year, and that's pretty successful so far. It's a very different type of DeFi. I'm going to make a video about Olympus DAO as well. Olympus DAO has been audited. Wonderland has not, but it's supposed to be pretty much a copy of the same code, supposedly. Hopefully they're going to want to do an audit at some point. So in the meantime, be careful. Don't put all your money on this project, despite the fact that it has really astronomical rates of returns. It's an interesting project, and that's why I'm talking about it. Just use your judgment and don't put your whole portfolio on a project like this, because it's risky, it's not audited, it's brand new. We suppose that the code is as good as Olympus DAO, okay, which has been a little bit more battle tested, okay, but again, it's less than a year old at Olympus DAO, but it's still very good so far. All right, so let's dive in. And before we actually look at what we can do in it, we need to understand a little bit about what we're doing. So basically, Wonderland gives you, you need to stake a coin called time. So you're buying time. If you were looking for time, you can find it here. Okay. And time is not a stable coin, but it's a coin that's an algorithmic reserve currency backed by decentralized assets. Okay, so the idea is that time has a free floating value, but it's based on it has a reserve, okay, which is made of magic internet money. I know, I love the names of these things. So magic internet money, or MEMO, comes from the abracadabra.money protocol, okay, which is also relatively new, but a bit more developed than Wonderland. Okay, so essentially, the magic internet money is a stable coin. It's issued by Abracadabra Money, and it has a value of $1. So if you buy time, it has a guaranteed minimum value of $1, or 1 min. Okay, but it's not pegged to that min. It's just backed by the min. Now, it has much more value than that, as you're going to see in a few minutes. It's several $1,000s at the moment. Okay. So it's backed, not pegged. Let's remember that. Okay. And it offers you very, very, very high interest right now, and we're going to see how they generate that. It's very different from a typical liquidity pool. Okay, very different. So they have a game theory, which they took from Olympus DAO. Olympus uses the 3311 game notation. Here the notation is hat, teapot, teapot. Again, that's from Alice in Wonderland. The hat comes from the Mad Hatter, and the teapot comes from the tea. There was a tea at the Mad Hatter's house. So basically, you want two hats. Okay, that's when you're staking your time tokens. You can also get bonds. Okay, and you could sell your MIME token. Okay, so essentially they're telling us that what's best for the protocol and for the users is to stake. Everybody wins. Okay, one of these hats is the users, the other hat is the DAO. Okay, the protocol. Okay, now the worst case scenario obviously is selling. Okay, so they highly recommend that don't just hold the time tokens in your wallet, you should stake them. Okay, that's the simplest thing. If you want to read the details, go ahead. Okay, all right. Now, one thing that you have to remember with this, the market price of time is extremely volatile. Time is around 3,500, 4,000, something like that. It's going to go up and down in value, $400-500 a day or more. Okay, the price fluctuation is super high. It goes up and down like this, and that's normal. Same thing happens with the Olympus DAO OM token. It's very, very, very volatile. Why? Because there's not a lot of volume yet. Okay, on this, these are brand new protocols. Okay, and in the case of OM, on top of that, what adds more volatility is that on other protocols like Frax, for instance, you can use your staked ohms, okay, as collateral for a loan, and then if since the ohm values is extremely volatile, when it drops too much, you get liquidated, and then the price just crashes. So probably not a good idea to borrow against your own too much. Okay, you cannot borrow against your time yet, but it's still very volatile. So be aware of that. Okay, if you're interested in investing in this, okay, maybe you put like, I don't know, $500 on this, and then the next day it's worth 200, and then the following day it's worth 1,000, and then it goes up and down, up and down, up and down like this. Okay, so that's normal. Okay, now what's the point of buying this? Okay, you get a very high interest rate in the APY is in the 30,000% at the moment. You'll see what I'm talking about in a few minutes. And what's very interesting is that you have what they call a rebase, and the rebase is the time when they compound the interest for you. Okay, and they compound 3 times per day, every 8 hours. Okay, so you're getting a lot of time. Okay, back in your investment. Okay, so if you just you know, my strategy with this stuff is, okay, I put a little bit of time, I stake a little bit of time, and then I just leave it there. After a year, it's going to be worth a fortune. Okay, you have to understand the principles of compounding. Okay, compound interest. Okay, starts very, very slowly, and then after a while, the money just grows like crazy. Okay, it's a question of time. The more time you allow the compounding to work for you, the greater your gains. The first couple weeks, okay, you get hardly anything. Okay, but if you wait like a year, okay, then you have like over 100 times more money than you had at the beginning of the year, okay, at these rates. So you just do the math, okay, you'll see what I mean, okay. Yeah, actually, they actually have a lovely graph here, I forgot. So you're getting a little bit less than 2% compounded daily, okay, but it's close. So this is after 365 days here. So let's say you invest here. The first couple of months you say, I'm not getting anything. Yeah, just sleep on it. And then you'll notice near the end of the year, okay, your money just grows like crazy. Okay, that's the power of compound interest. Okay, that's why banks are so rich. Okay, they charge you compound interest on the loans that you borrow from them. Okay, when you get yourself a mortgage, okay, you pay 3, 4, 5 times the price of the house, okay, to the bank. That's why banks have big, shiny office towers, okay? That's how they pay for that. So if you want to get yourself a big, shiny office tower, leave the money there a long time. Don't despair the first 4 or 5 months, okay? Because you're not going to see a lot of interest coming at you. But if you wait the next 6 months, then that's when you're going to see a lot of gains. Okay, that's a strategy. Okay, if you want to play this with this protocol. Okay, it's not safe. It's very risky. It's new protocol. It's not audited. It's extremely volatile. Okay, I'm trying to make it look as bad as possible right now, so that you use caution when you invest. Okay, don't mortgage your house to put money on this. Okay, because the first few months you're not going to see anything. It works long term. Okay, here they explain how they calculate the APY and all that jazz. Okay, you have to understand the way they make money on these protocols, Olympus DAO and Wonderland, is they're selling bonds, okay, to create the own tokens, okay, and they make a profit doing that, and the profit is kept in the DAO Treasury, okay, and the DAO Treasury basically belongs to the owners. Okay, if you own the you have you own a share of that treasury. Okay, belongs to you. Okay, that's the principle. It's been very successful with Olympus DAO. At the moment, they have a TVL of about $1 billion, and their treasury has $700 million right now, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so basically, Wonderland is a new version of Olympus DAO. What's interesting for me, because I like to save money on gas, is that it's on the Avalanche network. So let's have a look at it. So I already connected my Metamask wallet. I'm on the Avalanche network. Okay, and I already staked a little bit of time. And I just put a little bit of money on it to test it and see that everything works. Okay. Now, what's interesting to notice, okay, here, is that once you stake your time, it turns into a MEMO token. Okay, so it's called MEMO. Stake time is called MEMO. MEMO is supposed to stand for memories if you read the documentation, but that's neither here nor there. It's not that important to know. All you need to know is that when you stake your time, it becomes MEMO tokens. Okay? Now, the next reward. See, what's interesting here, it tells you the time you're staking. So the next rebate is coming in 6 hours, 20 minutes. Rebase, sorry. The next rebase is coming in 6 hours, 20 minutes. Okay? So that means you're going to receive new MEMO tokens, okay, 0.5416%, okay, of your total MEMOs is going to be deposited, okay, compounded on top of your old MEMOs. Okay. Now, the return on investment for 5 days is about 8%. Let me see. Yeah, it's better now. 8.437%. Okay. So this is every 5 days. You're getting 8% on your deposit. So multiply that by 6 times. Okay. Basically, you're getting 48%, over 48%, almost 50% interest in a month. Okay, which is super high. That's because the APY at the moment is at 36,947%, which is about 500-600% APR. You can do the math later. At the moment, the TVL stands at 146 million, which is not bad considering it's less than a month old. Okay. Now, the index is, if you put money at the very beginning of time, okay, of the project, today you would have, let's say you had $1,000 deposited there at the very beginning. Today you would have 1.39 thousand, so dollars worth. Okay, this is the multiplier. Okay, all right. Now there's a very interesting dashboard. Okay, gives you the current time price. It's 3,221 at the moment. It was much higher a few hours ago. It goes up and down, up and down. It was like $4,000 less than 24 hours ago. So again, I'm emphasizing that the price fluctuations are super high on this token, and that's normal for this protocol. So if that makes you nervous, don't put your money there. You're gonna go nuts, okay? And don't put your whole portfolio on this either, because you're gonna go nuts, okay? Your portfolio is gonna double in value one day and half in value the next day. You know, you're gonna go crazy. So total market cap is almost 200 million. And this is the percentage of stake tokens compared to total tokens, TVL that we saw, the APY that we saw, current index we saw. Okay, so the Treasury has 21 million. So right now, the risk-free value per time stands at $274. Okay, so essentially, the value of risk-free assets in the DAO is equivalent to $274. Okay, it's far less than this, but don't forget you're getting 34,000% interest right now, APY. Okay, so this risk-free value is always much lower than this price. But basically that's your guarantee. It cannot go much lower than this. Okay, that's the worst case scenario here. If they had to liquidate the protocol, you would get $274 in theory. Okay, now the runway is that at the current interest rates, okay, considering how much money they earn right now, it would last 361 days. So right now the runway means that for the next year or so, almost a year, they expect, okay, if everything else stays the same, that you're going to get 34,000% APY. It's probably going to go lower at some point, but that's what the current calculations tell us. Okay. All right. Here, the minting discount. Okay, you can buy yourself time tokens at a discount of 6% here, 5%, 2.4%, and so on. Okay, if you buy these bonds, okay, and that's how the protocol makes its money as well. Okay, so you can buy at a discount. That's good for you, and it's also good for the protocol because the protocol makes a profit selling these bonds, and the profit ends up in the treasury, which is good for you because it increases the risk value per time. Okay, I told you this is very different from the normal liquidity pool. They talk about that in greater detail on their Medium page and so on, so you can have a look at it. Okay, now let's see. I suggest you join, if you have a lot of questions, because it's very different, it's very new. I suggest you join the Twitter account here. They have a Telegram and also a Discord channel. So you should join these. Okay, we can have a look at the Twitter. This is their Wonderland. This is the Mad Hatter from Alice. Okay. And anyway, what we see here, Daniele Sestaylor is the programmer behind all this. Okay, Daniele also has his own Twitter page. Okay, so he calls himself a spellcaster, and he's responsible for several protocols, including Popsicle, Wonderland, and Abracadabra. So all these have something; they're all interconnected. Okay, and that's why we get the MEMO token comes from Abracadabra. This is Abracadabra. Okay, so you can follow that. There's Popsicle. Popsicle doesn't seem to be connected to these two other protocols yet. It might in the future. I don't know. So I suggest you follow this. You check it out. There's a lot of crazy humor in here. Anyway, protocol looks interesting. It's risky. The token is extremely volatile. Expect gains and losses every few hours of several $100s on your token. Okay, if you cannot stand roller coasters and you get you're losing your dinner, okay, watching the roller coaster, don't invest in this. On the other hand, if you're patient and you can wait for the compound to do its magic, it might be very profitable in a year. It might. Okay? Again, I say it's very risky. Who knows? Maybe they're gonna have a hacker, a rug pull, God knows what. Okay? And that's why I put a tiny bit of my portfolio on projects like these. Okay? Why? Because I think it's a good idea. But there are a lot of risks, so I'm not putting half my portfolio or my whole portfolio on this. I'm not mortgaging my house and taking loans and because of the sexy 34,000% interest. Okay, I'm not that crazy, okay? A little bit crazy, but not that much, okay? So yeah, the APYs are very sexy, but who knows what could go wrong, okay? All right, so that's it for this video. If you like this kind of stuff, like, subscribe, ring the bell, and don't forget to download my free book. And if you prefer to give money to Jeff Bezos, go to Amazon and pay $5.99 for my book so that Jeff can give me $1 later. All right, that's it. See you later.